IBS, 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 IBS.
I'll be there.
For some reason, I hear,
Tom Kobe.
he said, yeah, I like that. You know, the Two and a Half Men, like, after it's done starting, it's like, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have one of those.
IBS.
IBS.
Okay. So we were going to talk about men and women again.
Oh,
You know, get things fired up in this conversation. I don't think we should have a long episode, but
sure.
I guess we'll see where you go because you're a
See where
blabbermouth.
I go? Blabba? Me?
Kobe.
He's like, me too.
Okay, so the one, I guess, topic was etiquette, dating etiquette. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of people, a lot of men actually, because there's men that are like totally against, equality and shit.
Equality.
So they like to use dating etiquette in like their favor so they don't have to pay
You
for.
said they're against equality?
Yeah, like it's always the guys in the comments that like hate feminists that are
They're using
usually
the
like,
logic against them.
yeah, they're usually like, well, you guys want equality, right? So I don't think I need to pay for your
Oh
dinner.
my god.
It's always those guys. Um, so yeah. And then there was this clip that I showed you
Yeah.
about this girl that says that she when the guy asks her the question, she
Yeah.
plays dumb and
She said, what did she say? She said, this is how you should respond, right?
yeah,
When a guy says, let's
50-50.
split 50-50 on the first date. And she says, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought this was a date.
Yeah.
I didn't know you just wanted to be friends. Which, that's probably the best response I've seen to this like trend
Right.
online.
It is pretty fair.
It's just like it's funny, it's fair. It doesn't come off like like you don't come off looking like a bitch for it.
Yeah.
You come off looking actually like making them look stupid
Yeah.
because now they're like,
Yeah, like they wanted to get out of the friend zone and
now they just threw themselves back
in the friend zone.
They secured their status.
Although I do feel like guys that are in the friend zone would typically pay. It's usually guys that, like how you just showed me this clip of this guy that chooses to take women out just to piss them off.
It isn't a clip. It's a Reddit post of people confessing like sick addictions they have, like to blow off
sick addiction.
like sick addictions they have to blow off steam, but sick in the sense that they're not like perverted or like sexually inappropriate. Nothing weird like that. More so sick like this guy is sick because when he gets really bored, he goes on dating websites and then he formulates a character that he's gonna play while he's on the date. And so in this case, the character he's been working on is a wigger, which is like
a white guy.
A white guy that wants to be like black, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he's specifically trying to be a white guy that's trying to be like Southern black, like from Memphis. And so he takes girls out to Chili's and he bumps 3-6 Mafia and
he says he picks up the girl and drives 20 miles away to a Chili's. I feel like that was an important detail.
Yeah.
It's not a nearby Chili's.
It's 20 miles away. And he plays the same 3-6 Mafia song on loop the whole time.
And he leaves the girl at the restaurant.
Yeah.
He abandons her after a while.
He leaves her at Chili's.
Yeah.
And he said it felt good. He needed that.
So
I'm pretty
I feel
sure
like it's those type of guys that are usually like the one saying you want to pay 50-50.
If I'm being honest, I think this guy paid.
He's lying.
I think this guy actually paid for the Chili's.
Oh.
No, actually, he left her there.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, wait, how do you know? Was there more details?
I'm giving him like the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, he's a good guy, this guy.
Yeah. No, he left.
He left, yeah. It's like a power move for him. I don't know. It's pretty funny if it's real.
So what do you know what type of guys are typically doing the 50-50? Do you have
All
like
right,
an idea?
I do have an idea. So it's guys that are like listening to like those podcasts where it's like that ethnically ambiguous brown dude who's like bald with like a sharp nose.
Ethnically ambiguous.
You've probably seen it. He's always talking about like high value men and I'm not gonna stick with some low value woman. Like it's like always
Andrew Tate.
No, he's like even worse than Andrew Tate because he like has all these fucking clowns on his podcast, and it always pops up like in suggested shit like on YouTube and Instagram. I'm like, who the fuck's watching this shit?
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of dudes who don't get any pussy, and they're like upset that they don't get girls,
Right.
so they look for a reason to like shit on women to justify why they're not getting women's attention, and so they start chalking it up to like, well, it's because they're like money hungry and they're gold diggers and they're all you know like on OnlyFans and they're manipulated. Like they just like create this like really shitty narrative about women in their head.
Yeah, like all women.
Yeah, like they generalize all women, and it's all because they have terrible experiences with women
or lack of experience
with women. They don't. They have lack of like exposure to them. They don't understand women, and they're like frustrated and they're like just being fucking bitches about it. Like they're blaming women instead of just like being self-aware, or maybe I don't know, considering that like that's just one type of person and that there's like, you know, there's lots of different types of women. It's not just like this person you're seeing that's like perpetuated online by these podcasts by these douchey dudes who are like
right. But then I guess like you could also look at the, you know, the counter of what that might look like, and it's girls that are very selective that don't want to go to places like the Cheesecake Factory.
Ooh,
and they don't want to go to places like, you know, basic
that.
places.
I mean,
so I mean, it's just like it's crazy how like there's like these complete opposites of men and women.
Yeah,
and
they're like in reaction to each other, right?
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, because like those type of women, they're like, don't fucking take me to some basic ass place. Don't take me to the movies.
Don't take me. I don't want to. Yeah.
And then it's like those men. It's like those women are angry at like men in a way, and then those men are like angry at women, and then
you know what I think
it is? Sounds like a mess.
I think it's like it is fucking messy, and I think it's like entitlement on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
It's men feeling entitled to women's time, and it's women feeling entitled to men's money, and they're just like feeling entitled to men's efforts for them, like in a dating dynamic,
right?
And it's like there is a lot of give and take in terms of power and like money and things like that in dating, right? And I think it's just like the women that are saying like don't take you to the Cheesecake Factory, like I guess like if it's really loud and like
that's what I was gonna say. Like I can see why some women don't want to go to places like that, and it's because for me personally, like I hate yelling when I'm talking. I'd rather go to like some quiet, chill place.
So the intimate, right?
Where like you can actually get to know a person.
Yeah, you can hear them.
Yeah.
But
you don't have to. I mean, a movie. It's like that's also I can see why it's like you're not really
talk.
You're not even getting to know that person.
Yeah, it's awkward. And then like, what you're gonna like expect the girl to like want to like kiss you after,
make out in the movie,
sat with you in the movie. Like, but also, you know, be honest here. Like, you love the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yeah.
She loves it, guys. There's girls that like the Cheesecake Factory. I've never even taken you on a date.
I'm saying like in.
But I know you like it because we get it to go. We get it to go.
I'm saying, like, in terms of just the way that we're talking about it, like, because of the environment, the loud environment, like, maybe...
That's not their reason.
Not all the time, but I think for some women that might be a reason.
I think the women, though, that are viral for these comments, they're talking about the price point and the name. They're like, that's fucking lame. You're taking me to a
Basic.
chain, and you're only spending this much. And like, I've seen a lot of posts that are like, this is what the minimum should be for a first date. And guys and girls saying some out of pocket shit. Like, he's like falling out of the
He's like,
couch.
help me,
He's like,
Dad,
please.
help me.
Like, you know, how much do you think a first date should cost? Do you think there should be a minimum? Do you think it's all dependent on other factors?
In this economy,
Because look at like
I
I
think a first date can be like, at least for dinner. I think $100 is pretty good.
that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
That's how
right?
much it costs for two people to eat somewhere decent.
Yeah,
Like nice.
yeah. I
You're
think
not going to Denny's.
I think that's like with like, everything included and
Everything included?
like tip and
What?
yeah,
There's
$100.
no tip on the first date. Oh.
Ew. Stop.
Um
No sticky tips.
ew. The fuck?
That's
Yeah.
what you're referring to.
You still give like lick the dollar for you give it to the waitress.
Um,
Yeah, so I do think I think that's good. That's decent. $100. I think $200 is like you're really trying to impress this girl.
$200 is like, okay, I can see like, yeah, it's good effort. I don't think it's necessary.
I think it just depends on a few things. Like if it's a girl that makes you think you're gonna have to spend $200 on a date, like that says kind of a little bit about that person that you feel that this person's only gonna be impressed if you spend $200 or
But
more.
also, it's like, what if the guy is like that too?
Oh,
He's
he's a
very
little
like
bougie.
high maintenance, bougie, and like he's like,
That's true.
you know,
You just waste money.
he just likes to
Yeah.
waste money.
Yeah, I think like there's too much money wasting happening in these like
First
first
dates.
date talks online.
Yeah.
Like, and I notice it's specific type of people that are always criticizing this shit. And I'm not gonna say who, but
Okay, say who?
you know who you are.
Who?
It's a certain type of people,
Okay.
and I think it's a number of reasons why it's important to spend that money. But at the same time, it's also kind of like, why do you have to spend $300 on a what the hell, Kobe?
Are you what?
He's like growling. He doesn't like what we're saying. He doesn't like
Babe,
date.
don't give him
He
attention.
doesn't like date
I have to
etiquette.
cut this up.
Okay, so I feel like it's a specific type of people getting very like opinionated about this.
Right.
I think $300 is just like way too much money to spend on a first date.
I agree.
It's too much to spend.
For a normal average person, right?
It's just like this is your first date with this person. Like this is your first time like really like this is your first time getting to know them. Like, and I don't think the focus should be like how much money can you spend.
Right.
I think as long as the experience is good, you guys eat something decent.
You're right.
You guys maybe can try something new together
Hmm.
that you both know, is probably good food, but you guys haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you think about this? Because this has happened to me before, where some guy asked me out on a date, and before you, obviously.
well, obviously, what the fuck?
And he had been asking me out for a while. I finally gave in because I was like, I'm broke, I'm hungry, like
What the fuck? So you just wanted a meal.
yes. And I went, and it was very boring. It was such a boring date. Got it over with. The food was like whatever. And he took really long to take out his card, which
What?
kind of pissed me off. Because
What
I
do you
was
mean?
because
He
I
took long, like you saw him physically hesitating to do it.
like they brought the bill.
Oh, and he didn't just pull the check.
He
his
didn't
card
just
out?
pull his card out.
He waited for like what? Like you were gonna be like,
I
"Here's
like
some
that's what
money?"
I mean. Like that's why I was just like, I don't know if he wanted me to like be like, oh, I'll put in half, or if like he was just like kind of testing me. But I was just like really annoyed, and I like let it sit there, and then I got up and I was like, I'm gonna use the restroom, And I came back and the bill was still there.
No way.
Yeah.
And you left
And
him at
then
the Chili's.
and I just like didn't acknowledge it. I was like, I'm not fucking paying for this. Like, fuck that. He's been asking me out. Like,
He's
I
bugging
didn't even
you.
I didn't even like this food. Like, it was the date was like really lame. Like, I am not paying for wasting my time here. So I didn't.
That's cringe.
Eventually, obviously, he paid for it. But I was just like, it's really annoying that you didn't immediately just like pay for it.
Yeah, like why didn't you just pull out your card right away and be like, I got it?
Yeah.
And
Like,
just keep having the conversation or whatever. Like, be
yeah.
smooth about it. Here's the card, sign it, and still be talking. I'm like, anyways.
Yeah. It was so weird.
Damn, that's fucking awkward. And you gave him a mercy date too.
I know.
Like you didn't even want to go.
Anyway. Yeah, that was all bad. I was just like wondering, like, does it cross guys' minds like, oh, I just want to see her pretend to pay or pretend to offer to pay?
I just
Is
don't
that like
understand
a
the point of that
thought?
though. I just feel like that's like what's the point of
Because I've heard guys say that where
they want to
they
see?
like when a girl at least offers, even though they know they're gonna pay for it.
I don't like that because that tells me that the girl was considering that this might not be a date.
Hmm.
If the girl's like gonna like happily
Have
accept,
you heard that though?
I've heard from different guys too that like them them offering is like feels good because it's like oh they're like they want to help pay their end of
Yeah,
it,
it's
but it's
almost
like
like it's like the girl like, oh, don't worry, like I'll save you.
what but like what is the point of that? Like you asked this person out on a date and now you want them to pay.
Or at least pretend to pay or like
They
offer.
could have
Like,
just ate by themselves. Like why do they have to now pay for something you asked them out to come do?
yeah, I don't like that.
I mean you kind of like the whole Cheesecake Factory bullshit is like it's annoying because like that tells me that there's a lot of people that are not really communicating even from the
Yeah,
first time they meet with
that's
someone.
true because it's like, well, what do you like? What do you feel
Yeah,
like?
you're
Yeah,
like gonna just guess and be like, I'm gonna take you to Cheesecake.
Cheesecake Factory.
Like, how come
It's
you
so
don't?
weird.
How come there hasn't been any talking beforehand? Like,
Like, do people not talk?
no, I don't think they are. I think they're just like trying to. I think
Yeah,
what's
because
happening
how do all these like conversations go viral?
because I think what's happening is people are not being their true selves. They're not being genuine. They're playing like a role to secure a prize, and the prize is the date, and then the end prize for the men is like some sort of move on the girl, right? That the
Right.
girl allows.
Yeah.
And the move for the girl is like to get as much as she can out of the guy for the first date to see if he's worth anything.
God.
At least in this narrative, right?
Right.
Which is skewed because it's like that's like a horrible way to kind of look at dating and relationships and that's why I'm saying like the type of guys that are listening to this shit that are like I want a girl to pay half.
Hmm.
They're also
Those guys aren't listening to this podcast.
they're not listening to this
Oh,
podcast. I'm saying the guys that are listening to those douchey
right.
podcasts
Yeah.
where they're talking about like high value men and are you a high value woman? Like they always have the same points. They're like a man's value gets goes up as he gets older in life, which is true. And they say that a woman's value goes down because physically women lose their looks, they lose their bodies. But also like there's a lot of hot women too.
Well, so I guess in their eyes, it's like, and
That's all they have to
she
offer
can't
is saying.
reproduce.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying is like that's all a woman has to offer, and I have all the world to offer because I'm older and I can buy things. So it's such like a fucked up, skewed perspective on like dating and relationships and
Right.
romance because there's no romance there. There's no like courting that happens.
Yeah.
There's no like just like flowers
I
and
mean,
just
you
cute
think about
shit.
it though, like I just saw a photo of Salma Hayek and her husband, and I was
The
like,
older,
that's so gross.
it's
Like,
fucking old.
how does she even like sleep with him? It's so
She probably
disgusting.
doesn't.
It's so disgusting.
He probably just like he probably just busts right away.
It's just like, like obviously she's beautiful and talented and
She's
everything.
bomb.
It's just like it kind of makes you feel a certain way about her because
It does.
you
You're
know,
like she's just with this dude because he's a billionaire.
yeah.
Like, why would she be with this old
And
ass
then it's
dude?
like, and like you told me one time that she was like talking shit to like a rapper about like
She was, yeah.
something about their lyrics, and it's like you act like your shit don't stink, you know? You act like you're all that, and like you're this morally correct person, and like you're with this old ugly white guy because he's
The owns
rich.
Balenciaga. What does that have to do with what we're saying?
I don't know. I was just thinking about that. Oh, because she's an older woman and
Oh,
he's an older
older man.
man. Well, she's not even as old as he is,
She's
right?
nowhere near as old as he is. He's fucking old.
And like, yeah, like he ended up having a kid with her. Like he got her pregnant.
Crazy.
And it's like his value was high because he was rich and
He's a
wealthy, and
billionaire.
he was able to get someone like Selma Hayek.
But it's like, is that person that they raise, is that going to be a quality human being?
Probably.
Dad's like,
Selma Hayek's pretty cool.
she's pretty cool, I guess.
But yeah, it is just like a weird situation that like he's like nowhere near attractive, and like it's his value is just high because of the money that he has, and there's like women out there that are like down for that.
Yeah, they are down for that. They're just, why wouldn't they be? They could get it, they could do it. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, like, there's people that take advantage, they're opportunists, they take
Right.
advantage of a situation that's in their favor, and they get away with it. And, you're gonna just get judged for anything you do. So you might as well just do whatever you feel comfortable doing.
Yeah.
And if you
But
don't
is
feel
it really
comfortable,
comfortable?
what happened?
I said, but is that really comfortable?
Is what really comfortable?
Like being with an old guy.
It's probably not. I feel like I'm having a crazy deja vu, and I feel like we've had this conversation before, like
Interesting.
exactly like this.
It's also, it reminds me of the situation from Big Daddy, where his
Oh yeah,
ex-girlfriend's dating some like rich white guy,
the
and
old
he's
dude,
like in his old
his old
balls.
balls. Yeah, like it's so weird because, like, they can't possibly be attracted to that.
Exactly, that's what like drives me crazy because I'm like, ew, then you're like because you're with this old person that you're definitely not attracted to, like you're I see you as a different person.
Yeah, you're being judged now because now you're kind of manipulative.
Yeah.
Because when Selma Hayek's husband dies, who's gonna be a fucking billionaire?
Yeah.
Her.
She's crazy.
Yeah, she's in
Those are
for the
power
long
those are
con.
power
The
moves.
long con right there.
Damn. I mean, I guess it's deserved.
She's sucking the old balls.
Gosh.
Selma Hayek, you sacrificed, you martyr. Right,
Jeez.
yeah, I think that's like it's I don't want to say it's encouraged, but I do want to say that it's like all the toxic traits and like behaviors are amplified and encouraged by social media. and,
Yes.
and it makes the numbers seem skewed. It makes it seem like
Everyone.
that's normalized. Just how, like,
When it's really not.
yeah, just
I
how.
mean,
Oh,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna go into that topic of like what we were talking about earlier too, about like the no contact rule.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that after. Let's
What were
continue a
you
little
gonna what
bit
were you
about
gonna
this.
say?
Oh, I was gonna say how social media perpetuates and tries to normalize behaviors that are like really toxic and immature. Like Instagram tries to perpetuate this idea that like everyone's cheating on each other,
Yeah, well, and TikTok.
and TikTok. And it's like, I mean, I just noticed that it's like mostly black people that are posting this type of stuff. So I'm like, why is this like such a common like trope in that dating pool?
I don't think it's necessarily that dating pool. I think you know how there's such thing as Black Twitter.
Yeah, and then Black Twitter leaks into people who are like who just like want to be involved in that. Like there's lots of white and brown and Asian people who
But
are
then
like,
you also think about it like
it's influential.
how it is influential and how like people like we've already talked about this, like people on social media talk
They talk like black people.
like black people.
Yeah.
And it's like they're kind of like leading this not that they're leading this toxic mentality.
Damn, what?
But like I'm saying, like
Run it back.
people copy black people
I
all
think
the time,
I think yeah, people are kind of like appropriating.
whether they're even being serious or not. You know,
Yeah,
like I think just everybody copies black people.
for better or for worse.
Yeah,
Like obviously, like if one page, like Hoodville, you know Hoodville, right?
I unfollowed them
You
a long
unfollow
time
Hoodville,
ago.
okay, but
Yeah,
Hoodville's an example, right?
yeah,
Like it's a black dude who runs Hoodville, but that dude doesn't speak for all black men.
right.
But his opinion and his like posts are pretty influential because
Yeah,
of his
the
platform.
influence everyone. Yeah,
So that gets shared, it gets copied by other pages.
or even like the Gains, right?
Yeah, the
Like
gains, shit like that.
I
Like
don't know why I still follow that page, but some of it's funny.
yeah, like they perpetuate like toxic shit.
It's very like, yeah, toxic. A lot of it sometimes very like frat mentality. I'd say like, just like how the boys need to stick together and
Yeah,
like so weird.
weird shit. Yeah, like it.
Or
I
like
don't know.
that phrase like stay toxic. Like
Yeah, our city boys up.
yeah,
You know, she for the streets.
that's yeah.
Send them back to the streets.
Yeah.
City girls up. She's a city girl.
Um so yeah, I would say like that is heavily influenced in social media for sure.
Yeah, and those guys are like, yeah, go half on the date. Because if she goes half and she gives it up,
Yeah.
you won.
Ew.
That's what they're
I
saying.
know, and they say that in the comments too. Regardless, you still won. Like, it's still
Yeah, like I
W.
won. Like, what did you win, bro?
It's like, ew.
Like that's kind of is. It's a weird. It trivializes like what's happening, kind of.
Yeah, and it's making it just like a game.
But
Like,
you know what it is though is for a lot of men, it is a game. They want to see how many girls they can sleep with because they
yes,
haven't had
get
any girls.
their numbers up.
Yeah, and because they're like they don't get enough attention from girls, or they feel like I don't know, maybe they feel like they're not worth anything. They're not high value if women aren't going after them or not into them.
Or even just like personality wise, they probably don't feel like they're of any value. Guys that are not funny are jealous of funny guys, right?
Of course. What do you mean?
Like
I
because
know.
that means that like, damn, I know
I've been a funny
personally
guy my whole life. There's
firsthand.
always a weenie that doesn't like the funny guy.
Yeah, and it's like because the funny guy can like literally pull anybody.
The funny guy, like the funny guy, makes the non-funny guy's girlfriend laugh, and that
And
guy
then
doesn't like
and
that.
then it's like an insult almost to their like personality.
It's like I wasn't even trying to make your girlfriend laugh. She was just listening with everyone else, and she laughs. So get lost.
That's so funny though.
It's true. There's always
I
someone.
know.
There's someone who doesn't like fun. And the same thing for girls though. Like girls don't like the girl that's has more personality than all the other girls in the group.
That's true. Yeah, I
Personality is a
agree.
threat.
Personality is a threat.
Personality is a threat because people underestimate it,
True.
and like you could be like
And like if you're just like decent looking and have a killer personality, like you're
you get
winning.
points.
You're winning.
Yeah, you win. What is there to win though?
I'm
We're
just saying
falling into the toxic.
you're winning in life, right?
Damn, you're a winner.
Because it's like you built character enough to be able to like display that to the people you meet.
This just
You
in
know,
from IBS. If you're ugly but you got
I didn't
personality,
say ugly.
if you're busted and you got a great
Sometimes it's hard for
personality,
ugly
you're a
people.
winner. Yeah. Wow.
But I said like if you're decent looking, you're a
And you
winner.
got a good personality, and you're
I
funny.
guess if you're ugly too. All right, let's throw them in.
I just think if you're funny, it saves you. It helps you out. It
Totally.
helps
Not if you're a
you.
girl though, because a
Um,
lot of insecure guys don't like funny girls.
See, I don't get that. That's fucking lame. Like, I like that you're funny. I like that we laugh all the time together. If you, if I like, it just doesn't make sense to be threatened or feel like insecure about a girl
Do
that's
you think you're
funny.
funnier than me?
Do I think? No, I don't think I'm funnier than you. I
Yes,
think
you do.
no, no,
You
I
told me
don't.
that you think you're funny when we were first dating. You said that you were funnier than me.
Oh, babe, well, it was just a competition at the time.
It was a competition.
You were trying to compete with me. You were asking me. You framed it like I said it out of nowhere. I'm funnier than you. You were like trying to compete with me, so I
You
had to
said that.
defend my my title.
You said that you thought you were funnier than me.
Okay, but you thought you were funnier than me,
No,
so
I didn't
I had to defend
actually.
myself.
Actually, it wasn't until later in our relationship where I realized that I was probably more funny than you.
Just for saying that, you're not.
Yes, I am.
I think
I'm just a little more quiet about it. And also, I'm a little more like deadpan,
I think
where I say
I
things
could be
like without
deadpan.
smiling.
Pretty deadpan.
Damn, it's not about you right
I'm
now.
pretty deadpan.
Okay, what were you saying?
That I'm funnier. I was saying, I forgot what we were saying. Oh, about personality being a threat and men
Yeah,
not liking funny women.
right,
Have we
right.
talked about this on here before? About men not
I've
liking
talked
funny women?
about it a little bit with Jasmine, not with you actually.
Yeah, men don't like funny women. Okay, like we're not talking about like Amy Schumer. We're talking about like regular people. Like you meet a girl. I can't imagine a dude that's like straight, that's like threatened or upset by a girl he's in, like that's funny. Like why don't you want someone who's funny to talk to and date? Like
Yeah, you're gonna spend if you're gonna spend, time with
there's
them.
nothing
Don't you
worse.
want somebody to like keep up with you or entertain
Yeah,
you?
babe, that's what I love about like not to be like fucking gay together, but like like I love how much laughing we do. Like since even before we were together,
Gay
I don't mean to
together.
be gay together, but like like before we were together when we were just friends, like I enjoyed hanging out with you because we would always laugh about shit,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh, Alexis is just really funny. Like I always thought you were funny,
Mhm.
and so I gravitate towards that. I can't imagine like I've dated girls who are not funny, and they don't get my sense of humor, and then I'm like, this girl's like attractive, but like she's not even funny. She's not even cool.
Mhm.
It's like instant like it's a boner killer.
Boner killer. I don't believe that, but I would definitely say like you're probably bored.
You don't believe it? It's true. I think it's important. Like
'Cause yeah.
I think a lot of guys aren't honest about like what a lot of guys aren't honest about how important personality is to them.
But I also think like guys, certain type of guys like to be like the loud one. They like to be the center of it, of the relationship. So I think when a girl is funny, that like makes them feel small. It makes them feel like because she's funny, like she's overpowering the
Well,
relationship.
that's weird.
Yeah.
I feel big. I feel real big. Pause.
I just feel like that's kind of like in like going on in some guys' minds,
I can see that.
right? It just makes them feel small, emasculated. They don't feel like they're the strong one,
I think those guys though aren't even they're just not naturally funny. They're doing it. It's
and they're
performative.
insecure about their
Yeah,
personality.
they have a performative persona happening, and the Kobe, he doesn't like you. Thanks for talking about him. Yeah, I think those guys have like a performative persona happening, and
Right.
that's why they don't like it. Myself personally, I like when I like bring you around my friends and you're making them laugh. I feel like I'm proud.
Your friends don't laugh with me.
I feel like you've made them laugh. What the
No.
hell?
They go, bro, you said she was funny.
Bro, she's so not funny. You talk like that?
She's not the bros.
She's not funny, dog.
Um,
No, I feel proud. I like listening. Like when we go somewhere and I bring you around my friends and people, I like to just kind of sit back and just like I don't gotta be the
I kind of feel the same way. I prefer you to just like talk and like make people laugh and then like people
you don't
like
gotta do no
you.
work.
And then I'm just like, yay, like they like him, you know?
Yeah, I like that too. I'm like they like my girlfriend. She's cool. She can hang. It'd be
And
so embarrassing if you were like being funny and I'm just like, hey, look at me. Look at me.
yeah, that's weird. Um, but, but sometimes I feel like I'm just still shy and quiet, so I'm like getting out of my shell, so I don't talk as loud.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
Let's talk about the no
At least
contact
I
thing.
feel that way around like sometimes like your family or like in the
Oh,
past.
well, that's because you're worried about judgment, things like that. You
Yeah,
feel like there's higher stakes.
because I don't. know if I can be like as deadpan, because people don't get that
That's
sometimes,
true.
and I can't be sarcastic too much. So,
Well,
and I think that's all of like my comedy in a way, my sense of humor.
it's all sarcasm.
Yeah, and people don't like that.
A lot of people don't like sarcasm.
They don't.
It's kind of cheap humor. That's why.
Well, I'm not just
I know you're
sarcastic.
not. I'm not saying
I
that.
could also be very dark, which people don't like either.
I can be very dark.
um. Anyway, yeah, we could go back to that topic we were
The
talking
no
about.
contact.
The no contact topic.
Talk about it.
So
Let's hear it.
there's also another viral topic where women are coming to this realization that if they don't talk to men, that it'll attract them more. Would you say that was kind of what it was?
No, I think you're explaining it in a very like
Vague?
no, not even vague. I think you're making them sound better. You're making the person who posted this sound way like
Well,
nicer
you
than they
said
are.
she just looks and sounds annoying,
She
so.
sounded really frustrated with men, and she sounded like she was
Okay,
projecting her own
what did
problems.
you hear her say?
I heard a woman who was scorned. She was fucking upset, and she sounded really like frustrated, and she was like saying, basically, to deal with men, don't respond to them, don't reach out to them, don't you can't.
No contact.
She was like no contact, but she sounded just very like vindictive and just like emotional about it. Like she's taking something personal that's happened to her, and she's projecting onto everyone else.
Right.
She's like, don't contact them. You can't force them to be in a relationship with you. You can't force them to treat you right, and this and that. And that works better than, I guess, like what, like fucking desperately chasing a man.
Then chasing a man, then over explaining to a man why they should be with you, or
Yeah.
like trying to convince a man to be with you.
But that's just such a weird conversation. Like, who?
It's very weird.
I
Who's
want
doing that? Who's saying
exactly,
like I need you to be with
exactly.
me? I love. Oh, I wouldn't
What?
doubt that some people are doing that.
I just like there's girls out there that are like, why won't you be with me?
Probably.
What the fuck? And there's guys doing that too.
I'm assuming there has to be, babe. Like
That's fucking corny as hell.
right?
It's so
like
weird.
you realize there has to be people that are doing that.
See, that brings me back to what we were saying about the date thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like. I'm gonna talk about some dorky shit first about Magic: The Gathering. There's this thing called the turn zero rule, right? Where you talk about what you're expecting. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of something that should happen in dating. Like, there needs to be a discussion that happens from one party or the other. Like, oh, okay. She's drinking water, guys. I think what's happening is there's like no communication happening. Like, before these dates happen, before anything happens, like why is this girl talking about like begging some dude to be with her? And she's like, no, the only thing I could do is just not talk to him, to test him, to see if he really wants to be with me. That's like why did it get to this point? Like, how come this guy doesn't know? What? How come you don't know this guy wants you or not? And like, why are you still continuing to date with someone who doesn't even take you serious? And that tells me there's no discussion happening on like either boundaries or what's expected out of the relationship. Like, you should be saying like, I don't want anything serious. I just want to date. I want to be casual. I just want to like, I'm down to be exclusive. I'm down to see you, but I don't really want to develop into anything serious. I'm not ready for that. But I'm open to, I'm open to hanging out and doing stuff and
Doing stuff.
yeah, like whatever you're comfortable doing. And then eventually it happens. Like a lot of girls will be like, yeah, I'm down to do that too. And then you start sleeping together and it's not casual anymore.
I like that you said testing because there's a lot of game playing when it comes to dating.
Yeah, she's testing
with men and women. And not that men don't test, but
yeah, they do.
They do.
Just in a different way.
But women are also playing a game, and I'm guilty of being like almost the best game player
You're
ever.
A gamer?
Like, I used to play so many fucking games. It's crazy.
Used to.
So toxic. What do you mean used to? I was very toxic.
Word.
So I do like know that for sure that is playing a game, like the no contact rule, because I would do that shit all the time. I'd be like, even if I knew they liked me, I would still be like, I'll let them wait. Like, I'll wait till reply. I'll reply tomorrow.
What the fuck? You're annoying.
Fuck you, Kobe. You're gonna fuck this up.
You almost talked over everything.
So yeah. So I mean,
So you tested. You're a tester. You've been a tester.
not necessarily. Yeah, I guess it is testing. I was gonna say I would play games, but no, that's the same thing.
Yeah, you're a gamer.
Yeah. Um,
You're a gamer.
it's good that some girls are catching on to playing these games because if a guy is playing games with you, I think you should double down.
What? I think it's just.
I think you should play those games even harder.
I think that's.
But then get out of it because then that's
Yeah,
clearly
that's
an
like,
immature.
then everyone's just
man.
playing games, and that's how that ends up on Instagram as a post.
True. Very
Like,
true.
I just think people should be communicating like what you expect and what you don't want, and I think the problem is like I'll tell you from a man's perspective, oftentimes if you, as a man, this is not all women, but there's a lot of situations I've heard and I've experienced where you communicate to a woman, you want to just do casual,
Right.
you don't want to commit to anything, you like them, but you don't want to be in a relationship. And if they're open to that, you'll continue to see them. And then they'd say they are down, and then at some point they get really attached and they expect a level of commitment, and then they're upset. They're upset that you're not committing to them.
Yeah.
Even
True.
though they agreed to do the casual thing.
Right.
Until something develops that's either inevitable or just says it, has to break apart or whatever.
Right.
So it's like if you didn't like the potential outcomes of that, you shouldn't have agreed to it in the first place.
True. Or just realize that okay, this needs to end.
Yeah, be like, okay, well,
I don't like where this is going
I'm done
anymore.
with this. I don't like being
I
casual
communicated to you that what I wanted, and if you don't like it, then I think we need to end this.
Yeah, exactly.
But some people keep going.
Yeah, just how girls will communicate to men, I want something serious, and then the guy is like, I don't want anything serious, but the girl's still down to date. Well, then it's like, why are you still dating this dude? You just told him what you want.
True.
And you just actually you set a boundary, and then you cross your own boundary.
True.
And now this guy doesn't take you serious because you crossed your own boundary. So I think it goes both ways. I think there's not like the boundary setting.
People definitely need to stand their ground. They need to set those boundaries and stand by them, because then you lose respect and people are more likely to take advantage of you. Yeah,
and your time and your energy, your emotions.
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be a lot of boundary setting happening.
And
there just needs to be conversations that happen before the first date. Like, you should know if your date's not going to like you taking them to the Cheesecake Factory. If you're dating some bougie-ass chick, why the fuck would you take her to the Cheesecake Factory? Like, she wants to go to a steakhouse. She wants to go to Nobu. Like, and if that's not you, then fuck. Then you can't do it, bro. Sorry. Like,
you can't keep up with her. You can't make her happy.
You can't do it. It's not going to last. You're going to just, like, pretend, and then you're going to be broken. And you're going to be like, I have 6 credit cards to take this.
Yeah, and then he's gonna be bitter.
Then he's gonna be like, all girl want is money. All I want is money. But it's like, no, bro, you just need to make a little more because she's.
And you also need to be careful about who you're choosing, who you're picking, like who you're taking out on these dates.
And I'm not.
You don't take out people just because they're attractive.
I'm not defending.
I'm not. Thing ever.
Yeah, and I'm not defending that girl who wants to eat that shit only. She has a problem. That girl has a problem.
She's been a princess.
She's been a princess. She thinks she's worth that. No woman is worth Nobu every single date. Sorry.
Not every single date. I don't think people.
No woman is worth Nobu, except you, babe.
Anyway,
we're going to Nobu tonight.
No, we're not.
No, honestly though, I don't think it just your value shouldn't be determined by how much money is being spent on you on dates.
Right.
Like, that sounds stupid.
Anyway, we were talking about the no contact rule.
No, we're coming back. We're bringing it back.
You're bringing it back to the first topic.
We're bringing it back because
They mesh well.
They overlap. There's a lot of they intersect because
Hmm.
this girl's saying like if you don't talk to a man, if you stop pestering him and telling him all this shit that you need and want, that just works better because the man will figure it out.
But also, I think it's because men do, they can say whatever they want, but majority of men do like to chase women. They like the chase of their partner, someone they're gonna date.
What are you chewing on?
Cough drop. I was gonna have a cough attack.
Oh my gosh.
I saved this whole episode by taking this cough drop.
You did. You were about to go cough crazy. Codeine crazy.
Don't you agree? Men like to chase women.
I don't agree with you.
No?
You're 100% wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, of course men like to chase
From my
women.
experience, I know that men like, which is why I leave them on reds, or I
You're
used
crazy.
to leave them on red.
You used to.
Yes,
leave them
I've
on
made
red.
that very clear.
She used to, guys.
Because it's like it's
Does
the
that mean you're responding now?
No,
Just kidding.
stop. Because it's like the chase for them. It's like, oh,
Dumb, like-
is she into me? Is she
Like
not into me?
Playing
And then
fetch with
after a
dog?
while, it gets to the point where it's like, I hate her. I hate her.
I mean, I'll be honest. When there has been a girl like I really want to be with, I'm down for the chase. Like you made me chase you, and I just did it. I was like, okay, fine, fuck it.
I'm
really,
painting her whole house.
I'll paint your whole house. It's like this is what it takes. Like
I recommend painting house.
it's as close as it gets to building a house. No, honestly, like for myself, personally speaking, there's been girls I want to be with where you have to chase them, and then I do the chase thing.
Hmm.
And I won't lie, there's been times where it's just totally not worth it.
The chase.
With you, obviously, I hit it big, baby. Big bucks, big bang. You're the freaking prize.
Yeah.
But I already knew you.
Hmm.
Like, I think I knew enough about you that I knew I wanted you. And I was like, this is worth it. If this is what I have to do to prove to this girl that like I'm solid, I'm good to go. I don't know. That sounds very
Yeah.
weird.
I was like, okay.
Solid.
Stop. I'm good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yes, I agree.
But there's been times where it hasn't been worth it because some girls will make you chase them and they're like not shit.
Have you ever had a girl chase you?
Yeah, I have, and it feels weird.
You don't like it?
No, not that I don't like it. I actually did enjoy it. It just doesn't feel. It feels weird when it's the other way around if you're not used to it.
Hmm.
And then you feel bad if you're like not. If you have like a conscience,
Uh-huh.
you start to feel bad. Like, I've had to cut some shit off that was kind of like awkward. It's like, well, now I'm being chased. Actually, I don't even want to be chased, which I think is the difference. Like, girls want to be chased, and they're down to, like you said, like play that game. But like, men don't want to be like, we want to be wanted. We want to be like, yeah, we want girls to want us, but we don't want to be like fucking chased. That's when girls start acting crazy. Girls do the chasing game way crazier. They do crazy shit. They show up at your fucking doorstep with weird shit.
I don't know. I
They
think
follow you to work.
okay, now you're just exaggerating. Nobody's doing that to
I'm scared.
you. Um,
I had a girl who would show up and she would leave gifts for like every holiday, and I was just like, how long are you gonna do this for? Like, I don't want to talk to you.
I think you're exaggerating this a lot, babe. And
I'm just saying.
so let's move forward
You
because
gotta
I
talk
feel
to
like
my mom about that one. That was
you're
funny.
you're kind of just like, hey everybody, some girl really liked
Shut
me.
the hell up. Okay, you're the one over here like, I leave guys on red and I did this and I did that. I'm just a real
I'm a
mean girl.
beast.
I'm a real mean girl.
No, it's because I'm guilty of it, and I realized that I was toxic like 3-4 years ago.
I'm just giving my example. I had an example of being chased.
And now I'm accountable because,
Okay.
like, clearly that's wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong. It's fucked up. And I'm saying I was on the other end of being chased, and I didn't like it. And I initially did like this person.
Hmm.
It just quickly got out of hand because girls are just, they go a little above and beyond.
Can I just say that texting takes a lot of effort, and I think that's also another part of why, like,
Let me talk about
I would
that.
just be like,
I want to respond to that. I like that.
I would just be like, okay, I don't want to respond right now. Like,
Let's talk about
I'm
that.
lazy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do this. I want to play my games, and then like, I just like. I also want to reply with an actual response. I don't want to just be like, LOL.
Yeah.
Unless I really
What are you
mean
doing?
it. Or like,
WYD.
yeah, like, ha ha ha.
I'm talking to the guys.
Uh,
If you are dating a girl and you want her to like you and know you, stop fucking texting her. Pick up the phone and call her. Have like a FaceTime call. Have like a phone call. Like, you should be on the phone with these people for like an hour, 2 hours.
like the good old days.
I mean, like, like if you really like someone, you could be on the phone with them for a long fucking time. And you learn a lot about them, and like, it's just more intimate. And like, a lot of guys just want to text girls, and like, they're expecting to get pussy from
They don't
just
even
texting.
put, what are you doing? They put
WYD. LOL. Like, like, why don't you talk to them? Like,
That's
have
so
a conversation.
embarrassing. Yeah.
It's
so
fucking
cringe.
It's cringe.
It's cringe where the dating world has gone.
It is. My coworker was telling me how he's been trying to, I mean, I'm not going to say his name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And how he's trying to date girls from dating sites, and no one responds to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets their number, and they text, and then nothing comes out of it. And I told him, like, dude, why don't you call them? And he was like, he looked at me like I told him to do something illegal. Like, what? Like, I'm
cold calling?
Like, I'm not gonna cold call. You can't cold call the fucking online girl you matched with. No, like, honestly, you just say, like, hey, do you want to talk on the phone?
Like, what exactly happens? You match with someone, and then you're, like, messaging, or you're like,
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
And then it's just, like, straight, hey, what's up? Let's go out? Is that
No.
what it is? No.
It's a lot more than that. I'm sure, like, you're not every girl's gonna be like, they're gonna do what you're saying you used to do. They're gonna be like wanting a guy to chase them, and they probably have a bunch of dudes that they match with that are like hitting them up, and they're just hoping, or they're not even hoping, but the dudes are hoping their message is gonna get through.
It's crazy because I've talked to women that do actually hope they match with someone like cool, and like,
how are they gonna know that guy's cool? That guy doesn't call them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, I think in that sense, like, guys and girls, women are like thinking the same thing. Like, in the long run of everything, they want similar things, but they're just playing these games and not knowing how to communicate to get to the end goal.
Yeah, I think men and women treat each other like they're too different sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think we're all like after the same thing. And if you let social media and like basic trendy bullshit influence what you need and want, then you're kind of weak.
True. I agree.
You're like, if you're not,
you're super weak, and you're cringe, and you're lame, and you suck.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't have anybody in your
And that's why no one likes you, and no one's chasing after you.
You know what you said about that girl? You said she's obviously single. Someone that said that this is no contact.
I said that before the podcast started.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, girls are projecting that opinion online. They're just like the guys that are saying all this shit about girls.
Yeah, clearly both
they're single.
Those guys and those women are like very
like, you're single,
bitter,
or you're bitter from a relationship that you were in that didn't work out, or a few, or a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a skewed perspective, and you're trying to like perpetuate this online for other people to fall into.
True.
And it's a pitfall, because it's like, if you let these motherfuckers influence you, guys or girls, you're weak, because you're not even experiencing this shit on your own. You're gonna let someone else's experience influence and live that time for you, when you should be doing that on your own.
Yeah.
You should figure out what you're cool with and not cool with. Yeah, you might want to do
and be an adult.
Yeah.
And communicate.
Like, I don't know. I feel like it's not that hard.
I mean, I think it could be hard if because it could be hard because it's the wrong person, you know? When it comes naturally and it comes easy, like
Oh, I get what you're
that's
saying.
probably the right person for you.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Maybe people are trying too hard.
Yeah,
Like, you shouldn't have to be that hard.
it shouldn't.
If you already just are interested in the person, it should just be like whatever happens.
And that's not saying that like I'm not trying to say like being in a relationship is should always be easy because that's not what I'm saying at all either because it's definitely a lot of work. But
But the first parts of it should be
like
easy.
dating, like
It shouldn't be hard from the
finding
get-go.
someone you match with and get along with, like it should be a little more natural and easy. Shouldn't be so forced.
Yeah, it doesn't need to feel like it's this fucking battle. It
Yeah.
should just be like, this person wants to see me, I want to see them, we're gonna hang out.
Yeah.
We're gonna go do this, we're gonna do that.
Hmm.
You know, like it doesn't need to be like a fucking test in a game.
Yeah,
It doesn't need to
definitely
be turned
doesn't.
into this game.
Doesn't.
Because it can easily become a game, just like anything else socially. And that's just too much like work and psychological bullshit. Like
True.
why is like you don't want to date then. You actually don't. If you're that type of person who wants to do all that shit, you don't even want to date. You really just want to like you're like the person who like can't make up their mind at the restaurant on what you want to eat
Hmm.
because like you don't even want anything. You just like showed up.
Yeah.
Like what? Now you're like you can't just order the filet mignon and lobster and you're not even hungry. Like
It's like some of those people, we only have a couple minutes left, but it's like
what?
some of those people on like Love is Blind where like they're just way too mature for the person and the person's like acting like playing games and being
They're
like
still
super
stuck in
immature.
that process. Yeah, they haven't got out of it. They haven't grown out.
Yeah. I can't think of like one person at the top of my head, but I've seen it in all the seasons that we watch.
Yeah, that's true. It's usually the men that haven't grown out of the weird shit.
I've actually seen a lot of women too in that show that they don't know how to grow out of it.
Yeah,
So,
they're like still in like their high school shit
where they just want to play games and shit and like
and have
be
drama,
toxic. Yeah. But anyway, we'll end here.
like Jackie and Bill Smith.
Yeah. I don't want to. We'll save that for another episode. Jackie and Bill Smith.
Jackie and Bill Smith.
So
how many minutes do we have left?
we're at 58 minutes.
Oh, damn, we did a whole hour?
Yeah.
All right, well, anyways.
Anything to say, Kobe?
Suddenly,
He wanted to lick it.
radio silence from Kobe.
Thanks for stopping by, Kobe.